Hi, Rahul. Can you start by just introducing yourself a little bit and telling me about the different work and projects you've been doing?
Hi, I am Rahul from India. I've been involved in different kind of alternative educational programs from last 10 years across India, and majorly my exploration and my work is around how to build a culture of sustainable or regeneration. My organization name is Travelers University, and we work with youth around sustainability, social justice, and climate change, and other issues. We like the center of base of our work is education, alternative education, where we use travel as a mode of education, and we invite youth to take participate in different kind of programs, and where they explore themselves, they understand themselves. We took them on a journey of self discovery, but on this journey, that it's not only about the self discovery, but it's also about how they can discover uh, their connection with nature, with the communities, and how they can see the holistic picture of the self, where nature and other communities, other species are also the part of that self.
So, I always like to know how people started doing this work. So, can you tell me a little bit about what brought you to this work?
There's nothing special moment when I chose, like if I figure out, okay, this is something which I want to do. It's just that it's a journey from the childhood, I can say. I was reading some literature. I got introduced by some literature of famous Hindi novelist Munshi Premchand. So I was inspired with him, his work, because he wrote a lot about social problems, especially the discrimination, inequality, and gender in terms of all gender, caste, and religion, all these things. So in very early age, I got introduced to him, and or not only that, but he inspired me to read more different kind of literature, different kind of stories, and later I got introduced with Mahatma Gandhi, independence struggle. So through these stories, actually, somewhere subconsciously, I was growing with all these things, with ideologies and with values. But as I grew up, I was also into mainstream education system, and so I fall in the same trap, and I went for my MBA masters and wanted to earn money, business, and everything. But when I was doing my MBA, so I was not happy with that course MBA, the program, because somewhere I was feeling that something is missing, and I don't know what it was. And I also have some questions around all these issues around inequality, around discrimination, gender, all these things, even there is around environment and everything. But that education doesn't was not providing any answers of these questions. So I decided to I can say walk out from the system and to design my own education. So that is where actually it started in 2011. In 2011, I dropped out from the MBA, and then I drop out, and I have no idea where I will go and what I will do. But I knew one of my teacher introduced to me or told me about an organization, Udaipur Shikshantar Sansthan and Swaraj University. So I went there. I find out this is place which this is the kind of place which I am looking for. So in that university program, Swaraj University program, I have liberty to design my own education, what I want to learn, with whom I want to learn, where, and everything. It's all in my hand. So, and they were facilitators. So they helped me in designing my education for 2 years, and from there on the journey start. I start going more deeper and deeper and deeper.
Okay, so this university let you kind of create your own education
Yeah.
program and choose what interested
Hmm.
you.
Hmm.
Okay, and then I know that you recently were traveling around India, right? Collecting stories from people. Can you tell me more about that project and how that started?
So after I completed my 2 year program in Swaraj University, uh, there were still some insecurities about finances and money and everything. So I took up a job in an organization in Jaipur, working with the carpet manufacturers in grassroots communities. But I was working on the grassroots. But within a year, I realized, okay, oh, there is not something which I want to do. I'm just doing because of my insecurities. So I decided to quit that job again. And but I don't know again at that time I have no idea what I'm going to do. Uh, but I only knew that I want to travel, I want to work on education, I want to explore and go more deeper into the issues of environment, climate changes, and social justice. Understand that all these things, and also in longer term, I want to work towards education. So these are the three to four things must be very clear. But I have no idea how I'm going to do it and everything. The first thing which I want to do at that time was to work on my own insecurities. So I went on a journey across Rajasthan in India on a cycle, and I was traveling without money. 1100 kilometers. I traveled 28 days for 28 days and 1100 kilometers for without money. The idea was to explore the abundance and also see the generosity and trust the kindness of the people. So because I knew that I have no resources when whatever I'm going to start next, and I have to rely on the people and on their kindness. I have to seek abundance from the universe. So that is why I went on the journey, and there on actually an idea came about 52 Parindey project, a gap year project. The 52 Parindey, then I designed project that gap year project. The idea of this project was to uh, understand and figure out the stories or find out the stories of the individuals who are walking on alternative path or living a conscious or intentional life towards their dream, their passion, but also contributing to the society and environment around them. So one thing is that. Second thing is to I wanted to learn from them. So that is the gap year project and learning experiment for me. And also I am like big advocate of gap year, but when I say it is difficult to explain for people how to do it and what will go. So I have decided to okay, I will take a gap year. I will design my own gap year, and I will show what one can do in a gap year. So there are multiple elements in that gap year project, and I designed it on the journey. And I traveled across India for 52 weeks, 52 different locations. I met 52 different people, and I covered their stories. Some people are working on butterfly conservation, some are working on bee conservation, or some are in publishing, but they are publishing very meaningful books which are not available in India and hardly people. So something like someone were working eco architect, some are just planting trees, thousands of planting trees. Some is making paper from the uh, rhino poop kind of thing. The different initiatives. So I met all of them, and I covered their story through videos and text and photos. And it was a great learning, great transformation for me in that sense.
No, it's amazing. So you traveled around on your bicycle, yeah,
No,
documenting
yeah.
stories of all these people. And how did you know where to go? Did you research first who you can visit, or did you just see what happens?
So it's a mix. Like I have researched only for first four stories, and rest I have live on the universe and my wisdom. What I'm, and also I wanted to keep some flexibility because I knew that there will be some questions. There will some question will emerge during the journey, and I want to seek the answer for that. So how I can seek those answers through those stories or through those Parindey's people who I'm. So on the go, I have whatever questions I have are emerging, and I was exploring those kind of stories so I can find some answers.
So can you tell me about one of the people you met on your journey in a little bit more detail? Because I'd love to hear an example of one of them.
Uh, Rohit Jain, he's from Udaipur, Rajasthan. We both are from about same age, born in 1987, around 1 year, 1 month gap. And he was like, again, he was doing his engineering, IT engineering and everything in Pune, India. And there was slum behind his college. So he used to go and teach students in slum. So from there, he started questioning why these people are coming to the slums and they are living there because he was born and brought up around villages. So he knew that the life of village, okay, there was some lack of resources, but the life is easy. Life was easy compared to the slums, and at the same time, it's very safe environment, a safe and healthy environment in that sense. So he was again start questioning that why these people are coming to the cities and everything, and they are living that beautiful village life, and so all these things. So from there, honestly, start exploring things and understand, okay, there's lack of opportunities, resources, and cities are extracting resources from the villages and everything. So these things, it's like he keep on exploring, and then he end up in a tribal village in Gujarat, where he was teaching again to tribal students. And while he was teaching and while he was staying there, he like found that food he used to eat in the city and the food that he was eating in the tribal village, the taste is very different. And what he started and trying to asking people, "Ki, why is that and everything." So he came to know about the organic farming, natural farming, and all these things. And he saw a dream to make his own city to have a chemical free food. So he started working on that dream, and he started connecting with the farmers across India. He traveled across India, connecting with farmer organizations, different. And he started own initiative named Banyan Roots, uh, organic foods. He a supply chain of organic food, where he directly sourced from the farmers and supply to the city. But it's not only that. Uh, the price, the model that he developed, business model that he developed, is very unique in that sense. Uh, he he don't want any certificate of produces organic, but he tells his customers that you can come with me, stay with the farmers which I am sourcing, work with them, and see yourself. So idea is not about to idea is to build trust, and also the urban customer can connect with the rural farmer, and they can understand where their food is coming from also. And the price is like, he take very minimum profit just to sustain the business. Rest of the all the profit goes to the farmers.
Yeah, and that's of course just one of many, many examples you have. So if we go on your website, we can find out more of these stories, right? All of these different people you met.
Yeah.
And is there yeah, is there anything else you're hoping to do in future that continues on this path? What are your upcoming thoughts or plans?
So it's been 5 years that I have completed this journey, and I was looking for some resources and some kind of team to take particular this initiative to put in the forward in my so and in a deeper way. So under my organization, Travelers University, we just launched an fellowship program, 52 Parindey fellowship program. Here the six fellows will be collecting the similar stories, similar kind of stories, and they will be traveling. And but it's not only about the collecting story this time. These fellows are the people who are conscious about climate change and society and all those issues, and they want to explore and pursue their life and career toward the same path. So they will be learning from those people also, and they will be documenting their own journeys, reflecting, and we will be mentoring and coaching them throughout that the period of fellowship. So this is one initiative, and we call it a livelihood, not livelihood. Livelihood, and there's a difference between the livelihood. A livelihood is the pathway, and we can call it's the pathway of intentional living towards to create a sustainable, equitable, and just world. And a livelihood are the professions which or not only makes you alive when you are passionate about something like kind of thing. So you feel really alive when you are pursuing this kind of profession. So it makes you alive, it makes your community alive, and it keep nature alive. So this kind of livelihood, we call it a livelihoods. And
Yeah, as
these are
one word, right? Alive, alive.
livelihood.
Yeah, yeah. And I saw the article you'd written about this on Travelers University as well. So can you maybe tell us about Travelers University as well? Like, what is it and how did it come about?
After my journey of to Parinde, and I took some time and to write a book, and I wrote a book. So and after that, I was thinking, reflecting, okay, what should I do the next? And I was also feeling grateful towards the universe and the people who supported me this journey. And so I was figuring out out ways how I can pay it forward what I have received. So from there on, that idea came. Okay, travel is one of the gifts which I have received, and I know as per my experience, it's one of the greatest tool of learning and spreading ideas and uh, developing a kind of culture narratives shifting. So how I can use travel as a tool of learning and education and create some platform or something around that for the younger people, young generation, where they can learn, they can expose to different grassroots realities, uh, and also see themselves where they are in between all this, because the mainstream narrative and the media and all this thing, we we all get we consume all the narratives and data information from a particular mindset, a particular type of, but there are different realities exist in the world as we see, and how we can expose those realities to to you, to students and everything. So from so we create different learning programs around different themes like Swaraj, Gandhi's idea of Swaraj. We do a learning journey on that. In that journey, they not only explore, understand the philosophy and intellectual like things, ideas of the Swaraj, but also explore what is their own Swaraj between that, and how they can achieve that, open that path. So that's Swaraj Yatra we do. Then we river journeys where people, young students, understand the interconnectedness between the rivers and humans and everything, and how their life is impacting a river. Not only river, but the communities living around the rivers, and species and flora and fauna, biodiversity, how it is affecting through their consumption, and what is their connection. And so all these things we do that. We do different learning journeys of different alternative education models. Um, what can be different ways to design and found your own design your own educations, kind of thing. Those are different journeys around different themes.
Okay, yeah. So you're taking that inspiration you had from when you could build your own learning journey at the
Mhm.
university and trying to
Yeah.
pass that on. And yeah, I want to ask you as well, because you've mentioned trusting the universe, and I'd like to ask you kind of how do your spiritual or philosophical ideals or values, yeah, fuel your work?
So actually, these ideas is fuel. These are the like foundation of my work, my life, whatever I'm doing. Uh, because honestly, I'm sharing that I'm. It's been 10 years. Like I'm working, and I'm still struggling to meet my ends meet. But these values, these ideas, these beliefs keep help me or keep push me to work towards what I dream for.
And what is it that you dream for? If you think about a vision for the future that keeps you going, what is it?
So idealistic vision is something where again, so we need to go more deeper into words like sustainable, and when I say equitable, when I say just. So if one word is I want to create a sustainable, I want to live in a world, not create. I want to live in a world which is sustainable, which is equitable, which is just for all beings, not only for humans, not only for animals, not only for trees, but all beings. This is the dream. But how I can achieve this, and how much I can achieve that, I don't know. But what I can do is I can keep walking that path, one step at a day, and maybe at somewhere I will. I don't know where I will reach, but I know that, yeah, wherever I will reach, I am content. I will be content, and I will be leaving the baton in someone's hand who can pass that baton to next generation. That I'm sure that I'm sure of.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I mean, none of us really know, right, where our individual path is leading, but maybe we
Mm.
feel pulled forward by something greater than ourselves. And finally, I'd just like to ask you a little bit about where you are in India right now, in terms of what would you say are the biggest problems and challenges right now that are going on?
Like in current times, there are so many challenges in terms of India is politically divided. Uh, there's right wing, there's a left wing, there's a liberal, but no one knows what they want to achieve and where they are going. But they are just fighting for the imposed ideologies. It is divided, and because of that, uh, we are not able to see the real issues of climate change or the deeper issues around inequality, discrimination, around caste and gender. And so that is one. This is one of the biggest challenge because the work that I am doing about uh, empowering young people. I want to do empower and transform and create some experiences from them. This is one of the obstacles because the focus is on very surface level. That political ideology doesn't allow, or that divide doesn't allow them to see more deeper and reflect. Is one thing. And again, another challenge is the development, different kind of development projects and the laws that government is passing slowly or quietly uh, without knowing people what's happening beyond the project. Kind of, there is one forest which is going to be cut down for the diamond mining. 20 lakh tree are going to cut down. So these kind of the different projects, or they are passing and constantly passing, and people are not knowing. People are not able to know that because they are stuck in that kind of surface level battle about religion. Like they are diverted, they were distracted from all these tactics of the government about religion, about caste, or all these different kind of dirty politics, and not able to see real issues. And media is not showing that. Media is one of the biggest problem again in India, particularly, as I say.
Yeah, maybe in the world. So yeah, what I'm doing here hopefully is, looking at changing the narratives and challenging the mainstream narratives, which are especially something that's fed to us by the
Mm.
media, right? So do you see any hope at the moment in India? Like, do you feel that people are questioning these narratives at all, or the people you work with, maybe, do they give you some positive?
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a very mixed feeling. Sometimes feel really hopeless and numb kind of thing. Okay, we are going, but at the same time, I am really hopeful because in last couple of years, particularly, I have seen there's one movement happened because of CA and RC. There is one law which government passed, and how the youth came on the road and the young people. So this is the hope. The mass protest all over country, lakhs of students were on the road. So that is one hope I see. And second thing, again, when COVID hit, one of the biggest migration happened in India. Uh, Migratory laborers, people were traveling to their native village and they're walking thousand kilometers in hot summer, and they're walking barefoot with their kids and all their stuff, thousands of kilometers. And the young volunteers came up all across the country. They from their home they were buying food, and uh, they are setting up stores so on the highway, so or collecting money and driving donation drive, charity drives for them and everything. The amount of young volunteers came up. That was really hopeful. There are different movements that Fridays for Future, I guess about it. So there are so many young people are uh, joining with that movement, and there are the different movements like India Breathe, Youth, or the different movements where young people and young people. When I'm saying young people who are in the college and they're still studying, not who are in the job or who are stuck in the job or kind of thing. Yeah, Monia Jali. Because they don't have responsibility. They have only responsibility they have is towards their future. So they know what they want. They are not stuck in the trap.
Yeah. So I like to hope at least that people are thinking about things more and more and stepping up. But yeah, I get that feeling of hopelessness sometimes when it just seems like, you read something in the news and you just think, okay, are we really going to change anything? Yeah. But yeah, is there anything else that you'd like to add? Any final thoughts or anything you feel you haven't said that you would like to?
One thing which I want to respond to when you are saying hope and what you feel, I also feel the same thing. But I understand that we are fighting a battle in between a long war, which is, and there is thousands of years of undoing which we need to do. And one thing which I like, this is my learning from my last 10 years of work, nature has its own pace of doing and undoing. Only thing nature wants from us is to keep walking our own path. Rest of the thing nature will do automatically. One of the solution which I want to seek or I want to work towards more is localization, the counter of the globalization. Local economy, in particular, different economic models, local communities, and everything. People come together, local knowledge systems, all everything. How we can work towards that. At the same time, how we can globally connect it, but at the same time, create our own local ecosystems of learning, growing, food, all kind of system, food, for all needs. We can go source on locally. This is one of the solution which I feel can work, can do, uh, can undo the lots of harm which we have done, in the industrialization has done.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think keeping some kind of global consciousness and mindset, but doing things locally. Yeah.
Because there is culture all over the world, like developing urbanization. More and more cities are growing, developing cities. All the resources are for made for the cities, but we really need to understand the cost of a city. When I'm talking about the nature and climate change, the cost of a city, which I understand as per my exploration, is at least a small city costs one forest, 100 villages, and one river.
Mm.
This is the cost of a city. It's not about the money. If we are able to understand that, maybe yeah, we since we are able to sensitize ourselves and work towards that. What cost we are paying actually.
Yeah, and the cost on our health, mental, physical, emotional, spiritual health of being in a crowded city, for example. Yeah. I think that's a really interesting topic as well to look at sometime, right? Because the UN predicted most people would be living in cities by 2050, but the pandemic showed us that most people don't really want to be in cities. They started moving away because they realized they could work online and they didn't have to be there. So yeah.
So for me, I like living situation that I want to be retired in that sense, financially. I don't want to work for financially in at the age of 40, and I want to live in some kind of remote area forest. I want to grow my own food. There's a building and natural building, and I want to create a small community of and a small school for young kids of the community. Simple, and just want to play with them, and not a school kind of thing, mainstream education. I just want to play with them.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, let's hope we can bring those visions to life. All right. Thank you so much for talking to me today.
Same here. Thank you.